Welcome everybody to our Tuesday at 2. This is a weekly meeting that the North Florida Green Chamber of Commerce hosts. It's a meeting that we like to have every week where we introduce a hot button issue or a hot topic or a local speaker that we think is interesting or some type of information that we want to pass along to the community because we think it's important and we want people to know about it. Oh, there we go. Oh, see, it did it again. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Never had that happen before, but it happened twice just now. Okay, if you don't know what the North Florida Green Chamber is, we are a chamber of commerce, and we focus on making it cool and convenient to be green. So we work with businesses just like any other chamber of commerce, but we like to make it cool or valued to be green or sustainable. So when a business does something, makes a business practice that's sustainable, we want the community to value that. We also want the business owners and the municipalities around town to also value that. So it's our job to make programs or tools to make it cool around town to be green. We also make it convenient to be green. And what we mean by convenient is we want to make it easy. So if it's difficult, businesses won't do it. But if we can make it profitable, or if we can bring the price down so that it's competitive, or make a program turnkey or easy to do, a lot more businesses will jump on the wagon and be green or sustainable. So it is our job to make it cool and convenient to be green. And you guys are very lucky because we are located right here in North Florida, and we are working with North Florida businesses right now. This is going to be a very quick meeting. We do it once a week, every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So since it's a quick meeting and we want you to get the most out of your speaker today, the rules and structure of this meeting are that we would like you to keep your microphones muted, please. We're going to hear from our speaker after our icebreaker. And then at the very end, we will do Q&A. You can type questions into the chat box if you want, and we can read them at the end. But please hold your questions till the very end. And with that, we're going to do an icebreaker. And part of the job of a chamber of commerce is to help the community network and connect. So as part of an icebreaker, we thought that this would help our audience every single week to connect with other people who were interested in today's topic. So what we would like you to do is we'd like you to connect with each other. Please find your chat box. Put in the chat box your name and any contact information that you would like to share with the group. We do encourage you to reach out and connect with each other, whether it's following each other on social media or connecting on LinkedIn, just reading each other's blogs. A lot of people on the call today have very cool things to offer in addition to our speaker. So please type in whatever information you feel comfortable sharing. So whether it's just a name or whether it's a phone number, email, social media, or just a website, whatever you feel comfortable. And as you're doing that, I'm going to give you 90 seconds to do that. And while we are doing that, we have one of our UNF interns on today, Emma Sheridan. And she's also part of the North Florida Green Chamber Student Advisory Board. And she's going to give us a 90-second presentation while everybody's doing their icebreakers. Make sure you unmute, Emma.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. So for this little 90 short second talk, I wanted to talk about the importance of sustainable cleaning, which I haven't heard a lot about. So a lot of people talk about green cleaning, which is avoiding chemicals while you're cleaning. Super important. But sustainable cleaning means reusing things over and over again that you're not going to be throwing into the trash that are going into a landfill. That means not using a plastic wand to scrub your plates or just anything plastic really. So I have this little sustainable napkin that I actually got, I believe, from our partner, the Eco Collection. And the Eco Collection, which is a member of the North Florida Green Chamber of Commerce, sells many eco-friendly products, such as this reusable napkin. I've had it for like 2 years. It's doing fantastic. And with this napkin, I don't buy any bleached paper towels, which are full of pollutants, which then go into our waterways that are then going into landfills. So basically a one-time purchase will save you money in the long run. You'll be reducing the amount you spend on disposables, and you'll be eliminating a source of waste in your home. Talk about a win, right? They are a perfect addition to a waste-free lunch if you want a napkin for that. Picnics, they're kid-friendly, and they're super easy to use. So with that being said, I will hand the mic to Lucas Meers.
Thank you, Emma. You did a great job. And Lucas, we are going to pass it over to you. Lucas Meers is conservation officer, program officer with the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, and he is going to talk to us today about a really cool program that they're supporting and working on is called Lights Out Northeast Florida. So Lucas.
Hello, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Christina. Super happy to be here. I'm always happy to talk about animals, birds, conservation, anything you can do to save the environment around you. So I think this is a perfect audience. The Lights Out Northeast Florida is kind of an initiative amongst several partners in the North Florida area. Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, Duval Audubon Society. I see that Carol is on the call today. St. Johns County Audubon, and then Downtown Vision is one of our new partners. And so this is to kind of bring to light an issue that's facing a lot of our migrating songbirds today. Oh, switch. I went to go switch the slide myself. So songbirds, there are several billion songbirds that migrate twice per year, and billion with a B, several billion. And so North Florida is located within the Atlantic Flyway, which is one of the four major flyways across the United States. We actually have the second largest region of bird migrations along the Atlantic Flyway. And I think it has to do with Florida being a point, peninsula, and it's kind of their direct route to cross the Gulf of Mexico into South America for their wintering grounds. And so Birdcast is an incredible, on the image on the right, Birdcast is an incredible website that you can see the estimated prediction of migration, the numbers of birds migrating over your area, over our area at any day during the year. And so this is just from last night, the estimated number of birds migrating through the area. So you can see that Florida is a little bit pink. We have between a low to medium migration right now, but migration for birds, spring migration is between March and May of each year. And then the fall migration, where they head south, is between September to October. And so these billions of birds migrate twice per year over our where we live to make it to their breeding grounds in the spring and summer, and then to their overwintering grounds in the winter. Switch. And so we realized that, well, I guess first I need to get to the issue. So birds, when they migrate, they use they use the moon and the stars to navigate to these regions that they're headed toward. And so they use these natural lights, the moon and the stars. But then what can interrupt that is a lot of the artificial light at night. And that's caused by a lot of our buildings. And so what we've noticed for several years with the increase of artificial lights, we've seen an increase of bird mortalities or bird deaths caused by these lights. And it's estimated about 1 billion birds die per year through collisions with windows in buildings. And so this initiative, Lights Out Northeast Florida, was designed to bring awareness. It's part of a larger Lights Out campaign through the National Audubon Society. But we are a kind of a local organization, or a local chapter, I guess you would say, to spread awareness and bring to light the issues that birds are facing, ways to mitigate these deaths, and also ways to help your bottom line, because by turning your lights out at night could save you money. And so this program is kind of twofold, really. One, we are wanting to spread awareness by sharing the issues that these birds are facing, ways that you can help, working with local businesses, community members, residences about the issue and what you can do to help. But then the other component is we are coordinating volunteers to go around in downtown Jacksonville to start collecting data on what is happening to these birds, how many birds are dying in our region, and identifying the species, etc. So this whole program is kind of an initiative to bring to light the issue that these birds are facing. Switch. And so because I don't want to take too much of the time, but I want to kind of open it up to a discussion afterward and answer any specific questions. Because typically when I talk about this program, I get a lot of specific questions on what am I doing wrong, or what are options that I could specifically be doing? Are these lights working for me? Is there a better option? But I did want to kind of go into a few ways that you can help as an individual and a few ways that you can help as a business owner, if we do have some business owners tuning in. So as an individual, we recommend that you turn off your lights during the darkest period of night. That's between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. and that's during migration seasons. And again, in spring, it's March through May. And then in fall, it's September through November. I think I said October earlier. And then if you do need to have lights on at night, I know some people have concerns about security at night. If you do have to have lights on at night, you can direct your lights to point downward or instead of upward into the sky. Or you can even switch floodlights to timed lights or motion sensor lights, which in my opinion are a little bit more effective against any security issues or security concerns that you might have, because it's motion sensor, so the light turns on and potentially scares the person away. Draw your blinds closed at night so that the light isn't shining out of your window nearly as much. And then share our messages and graphics with family and friends. We created a series of graphics that have a lot of information on bird migrations, what you can do to help. And those can be found at the website that Carol just put in the chat box. And you can steal those, put them on your social media, and use the hashtag #LightsOutForBirds. And then you can become a volunteer. So we are still searching for people to help us with this data collection on looking for these birds and really seeing the impact that Jacksonville buildings are having and kind of figuring out what we can do to mitigate any of these issues. Ooh, thanks, Carol. You put the volunteer application up there too. Can you go ahead and switch, Christina, please? And so as a business, we're also recommending that you turn off exterior decorative lighting, turn off or dim lobby and atrium lighting, turn off interior lights when the building's not in use, particularly at night. Again, directing the lights to point downward instead of upward into the sky, switching floodlights to time lights. Schedule cleaning crews if you're a building manager or you have a building company that manages the building. Scheduling cleaning crews before 11 p.m. or put in motion sensor lights so when someone walks into the room, the light turns on, and when they walk out, it turns off. Consider keeping light reduction parameters in place year-round to save energy. You don't necessarily have to do it just during the migration times. I mean, if you're turning off the lights during a few months of the year, why not do it throughout the year? And you could save even more money because obviously turning off lights saves energy. We're all trying to be green and we're all trying to save money. So turning off your lights throughout the entire year at night could help you save additional dollars. Evaluate the negative impact of city streetlights, really knowing if your building is having an effect on these birds, being open to this discussion and coming up with mitigation strategies on how you could eventually help and see how we can work together to come up with cost-effective measures to benefit both you and the birds. If employees need to work at night, have them use task lighting rather than overhead lighting, close the blinds or drapes. And then also take the pledge. So what we're doing is, I think we're still finalizing our pledge form, but what we're really interested in doing is getting a few businesses on board to begin with this first migration season, this first spring migration, to really see how their building is affecting the birds and really opening up that discussion to see how they can help and make that commitment, make that pledge to turn off lights at night, or switch to task lighting, or making any sort of these adjustments, and then kind of work with us, and then open up a conversation, and then hopefully recruit more building managers or more businesses to kind of join the initiative, and really make an effort for not only birds, but also to save money on the bottom line. I am pretty much finished with my presentation. I wanted to open it up to discussion and for any questions, and kind of spend some more time on that. If people are interested on how to take the pledge, or if they have specific questions on volunteering, or any specific questions on lighting issues. But that's pretty much all I have, unless Carol wants to add anything. Carol's good.
No, great job, Lucas. You covered everything. Thank you so much.
I do want to give a huge shout out to Carol. She's the president of the Duval Audubon Society, probably here to fact check all my presentations, but she has been instrumental, along with Amy from St. John's Audubon, and also Carrie Stewart from Downtown Vision. She's on the board of Downtown Vision, for really trying to get this up and rolling. Oh, and of course I can't neglect to say Mike Taylor, who's in charge of our group at the zoo, and then also Ann Hardwood Ness, who's on the board of both the zoo and Audubon. So I do want to give a big shout out for the whole team that's been putting this together. We've been kind of working really hard. There's been several email chains that are sometimes difficult to keep up with, but we're really excited to launch this initiative, and we're really wanting to recruit a bunch of people and businesses, and really get the ball rolling on this.
Great. Yes, this is the second time I've heard about this campaign, and I think it's so important, and I'm very happy that we're spreading the word. I'm going to open it up for discussion, and what that means is either wave to me if you want to say something, or raise your hand in the chat box, or you can type a message in the chat box. So we'll start opening it up for Q&A and questions. So who wants to start?
I can go ahead and go into a few of the specifics about the volunteer opportunity, if people are interested in that. So what we're looking for, we have a specific routes downtown that we are exploring. So we're asking a volunteer to commit to volunteering 8 times. It'll be once per week for 8 weeks in a row during the migration season. And I think we're going to start March 15th is when our walks are going to start. We're having a training next week. We're finalizing that date in a meeting at 3 o'clock today. And then we're just asking people to basically look for dead birds or injured birds, and document the species, where they were found, and really help with that data collection to seeing what the impact is on these buildings. So it's only for eight times early in the morning. Christine is asking who we should contact about this if we are going to participate. Carol actually put the volunteer application in the chat box. So you can click on that and you can fill that out. That's more of an interest application. And then we're going to be reaching out to everyone with the formal training to see if you do want to participate next week. And then that training will be recorded and available if you can't make the training times. But yes, I recommend filling out the what about building owners? Who should they contact? Oh, so Carol, are you raising your hand?
I was raising my hand to follow up on a comment you said about the bird collection or the information. Even if you don't know the species, don't fret. Yeah. We can always identify the species later. The important thing is that we know that a bird has had an effect from an impact with a building, and that's really the bottom line. And so there's going to be a collection process where you'll fill out as much, if you're interested in volunteering, fill out as much information as you possibly can. But if you don't know the species, that is not a deal breaker, not at all. We can always identify.
We just need the hands
later.
and the help.
We just need
the motivated people to do it. Yeah.
And the other question, the building owners, our meeting this afternoon, I think we're still kind of working out exactly who's going to be the point person for the building owners. And that was Christine. Did you mean who should they contact with in terms of the volunteers or in terms of the pledge? I wasn't quite sure what that question. You still with us, Christine? Okay. The pledge. Okay,
the pledge.
good,
Okay.
good. So I think, yeah, Lucas, you probably know this better than I do. I'm not sure, but I think fairly soon we're going to have the pledge posted on the website, and then we would be referring people to that, correct?
Yes, yes. And then we do have a contact email for the entire team that Mike is actually checking. And it is, hold on. It is, hold on, let me pull it out. I want to copy and paste it in.
Sorry, I think I already just did that.
Did you?
Did I do it correctly? Is that correct?
Yes, lightsoutnf@gmail.com. And so if you're interested in taking the pledge, you can just shoot that email, a little interest email, put it in the body of the email, and then we'll send the pledge form and get right back to you.
So what type of businesses are you looking to engage with? Are you looking for businesses that want to participate in turning the lights out? Or are you yeah?
Yeah, any business that is showing any interest, whether or not they're downtown or in another area of North Florida, whether they're on the 10th floor of a high rise or if they're just a one-story business. I think that there's several benefits that not only benefit birds, but also I think it sets a positive image among the community. There's a Houston Audubon that we're working with and communicating with, and Baltimore, or Houston Lights Out and Baltimore Lights Out. And they've seen some positive, their business owners, they've interviewed them. They've seen a lot of positive results from the community on taking this initiative. They've seen a reduction in their energy costs. And I think it's just an all around good PR message. And I think it could benefit both the business owner and the birds. I'm interested in the birds and obviously the business owners too. Yes, I do lights out at my house as well. But
yeah, I think you need to give, in a lot of cases, you have to give the incentive of the energy cost.
Yes, the energy cost is the big selling point that we're looking to push for the business owners. And also, I think just the PR value of saying that you're here for the environment. I think there's a benefit to it, and really thinking long term with just energy efficiency, and I think just generally being better for the environment is a good message to share with your community and your patrons.
There's two questions. I'm going to answer the second one, or say the second one first because it's related to what we're talking about, and then we'll go back to the other one. Will you be highlighting the business owners who participate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. We will be highlighting those on our website. That's another incentive, highlighting those on our website, the partner businesses that have taken the pledge, because we're hoping that will not only give you a positive image, but we're hoping that will leverage other business owners and other businesses to sign on board. So yes, absolutely. We will be more than happy, and we do plan to highlight the business owners that take the pledge.
And the checklist for business owners is along the lines of turning the lights out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. There's different things. There's several acts that you can take, and you don't have to commit to all of them. You can commit. I think there's a list. I think we have a list of like 12 or so. You can commit to just a couple of them, and I think as long as people are taking some steps toward this initiative, it's a win in our book. So.
Okay. There is another question in the chat. It says, what is done with the data that you gather?
So we're going to gather the data for this spring and this fall, and then once it's collected and processed, we're going to be sharing it just as leverage for hopefully getting business owners to take the initiative. Hopefully this will, it's much easier to show or open up a conversation about an impact a building is having when it's their building, not necessarily using data from another city. So right now we have data from Lights Out Baltimore, but that's not necessarily going to translate well. I mean, if I was a business in Jacksonville, I wouldn't necessarily be interested in a building in Baltimore and their effect in bird mortalities. But if we're collecting buildings within Jacksonville, I think it makes it much more effective because it's our community and we have a stake in our community.
Is this the only program that's working on lights out, or are there other groups that are doing similar things that you know of, or are you really the only show in town that's concerned about the lights out? I know there's the lights out for the sea turtles.
Mm-hmm. So as far as yes, I didn't even talk about that because I do a lot of sea turtle work too. So as far as a local, regionally focused thing or organization within North Florida, I believe we're the only one. There are larger national organizations. I think Dark Sky is one. National Audubon Society is clearly one. And then, but this Lights Out program is part of the National Audubon Society initiative, Lights Out initiative. And so there's several Lights Out organizations scattered throughout the country. And I think there's a few more in Florida that are getting started too. I believe we're the first one in Florida.
Okay. Are there any other programs that you're working on with that the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens is working on with the Audubon? Or is this the only joint project?
I think this is the only joint project, but we will gladly expand partnerships because Carol has been so fantastic to work with, and same with Amy and St. Johns County Audubon. But yeah, I think this is the first of many partnerships, first foray into our expanded partnerships. But yeah, we're super excited to work with the Audubon Society. We have very overlapping missions. And it's great to partner. And I think showing that you're collaborative, I think it makes a much stronger message. And so kind of having these 4 collaborative organizations, I think it comes across as a much stronger message. And I think it's just in this instance, more heads are better than one. Yeah. And I think we can pull many of our resources, many of our contacts, and I think just Jacksonville is, especially the nonprofit area, the North Florida community is very collaborative compared to other cities, I've noticed. And I think that's something that we need to take advantage of and through all of these collaborations and expand those nonprofit to collaborations into for-profit collaborations and work together completely. I love this North Florida area because it is so collaborative, but I think it's, we're looking forward to expanding this and doing some new
Very
things.
good. Yeah, I think you're right. I think North Florida does have a lot of groups that do great things. We just need to connect. And sometimes it's just a matter of people learning what the mission is. I love what you're doing with the business owners. I know that the health of the human race is really, the health of the bird populations really do show the health of the human race. So it's really important to make sure that we're taking care of our birds. And I think a lot of people probably don't know that turning the lights out is a big deal. So really spreading the word, even to really well meant to do people, they just might not know. And I think involving the business community could get you in front of a lot of employees, which are people that could go home and turn their lights off as well. So I love what you're doing. We are going to, let's see. We are going to wrap it up because it is at our time today. And I want to very much thank you, Lucas, and you too, Carol. But Lucas, great job. And thank you for sharing with us such an important goal and mission that you've got. One thing that we like to do at the end of our Tuesdays at 2 is to do a Tuesday takeaway. If everybody could please type in the chat box, except for you, Lucas, what your Tuesday at 2, what your takeaway was from today. And then Lucas, if you could kind of just verbally tell us what you think your takeaway was from our discussion, that would be great. And while I'll give you 10 seconds to think about what you want to say. And just invite everybody to please join us next week. We have Professor Josh Gellers from UNF coming on. He's going to be talking about the sustainable development goals, both of Jacksonville and of UNF. So, Lucas, what was your Tuesday takeaway?
I gave the presentation. No, my takeaway is that I love the questions that people were asking, and I think it shows a lot of interest. And I think I was kind of a little bit preaching to the choir here. I mean, it's a green organization, but I think this is just one extra green initiative that anyone can take that's relatively easy, that's cost effective, making green convenient and easy to access. And so I think this is just one additional takeaway, one additional way that you can save money and do something convenient. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, everybody. I think I forgot to mention in the beginning that this is being recorded and it will be shown on our YouTube channel. So we'll be sharing that with more people. So hopefully it spreads the word to even more people. If you do have a problem or you have any questions about being recorded, just shoot me an email or North Florida Green Chamber at Gmail. And with that, I would like to say thank you, everybody, again, and we will see you all again, hopefully next week. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, don't forget to copy and paste everybody's contact if you want to reach out to them later. Hopefully they did that. I don't know. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they do it. Thank you,
Okay.
Lucas.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much,
day.
Christina. Bye.
Bye-bye.